Yo, it's Big Fan Breezy with the Brooklyn Net vlog. Shout out to the guys in the chat, man. I know I'm late. Oh man, nigga said the under over on me being late. God damn. Shout out to JP Liberty. Shout out to This Is JTV. Shout out to Ice. You know what I mean? Shout out to Tony Time. Shout out to Player One. Wanted to get into some content. I apologize for being late. Or I wanted to get into some content. Ice had informed me that Cam Thomas took all of that stuff off his IG. That hurt me. I ain't gonna lie. I'm not confident he's gonna come back after that. You know, if y'all really get what y'all want and just have all of these international players be more important than Cam Thomas, just overlook a player like Cam Thomas, a national player like Cam Thomas. You look at the stats and contrast to Cam Thomas to these international players. Cam Thomas is a better player than all of these rookies. He's a better player than all of these rookies. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's a shame, you know what I mean, that y'all doing him like that. You know what I'm saying? That was president for me to say because, you know, that was pressing because I just feel like I was just gonna get into this whole soliloquy about how Cam Thomas got a mid range and this and that, and I'm fitting to still do it, but I'm tight. I'm tight that Cam Thomas don't want to play for the Brooklyn Nets because of the franchise, and the franchise is, I mean, for lack of better words, prioritizing the international players over the national players. And I don't want to hear none of this bullshit about everything ain't scoring. You don't win the game because you got more rebounds, more assists, more steals, more blocks. You could get all of that and have less points and lose the game. The name of the game is scoring the ball, and y'all try to downplay the scoring like it don't mean nothing, which is whack. All y'all fans that's doing that shit is y'all gonna actually see how important a shot creator is when you got a bunch of playmakers looking for somebody to make a play with. Shot creators is making their own play. They shot creators. They creating a shot. They don't need to play to draw up a play all of the time. But and I said a lot. Did I say to say a lot of shot creators get to the mid range? That's a very big part of their game. You know what I'm saying? A very big part of their game. And that's a big part of Cam Thomas' game. Part of the reason why I like Cam Thomas. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that you know what I'm saying, that you know everybody talking about, oh, maybe MPJ might be a leading scorer. How? He got a mid-range game? I ain't know him for having no mid-range game. Well, he played pretty much the box from what I know. And if he not playing the box, he you know what I'm saying, shooting a three ball, shooting a long ball. So I don't get it. You know, I'm not for it. I don't get it. Well, I'm gonna keep it all the way real. So we gonna listen to this content, see what's up with the what's up, then we gonna get to it. Wow. All right, hold on, y'all. Hold on. Shout out to all the Nets fans. We the best fans. All right. This is Melo and Demar talking about the importance of the mid range game. Where
chart, you know what I'm saying, that shows our beloved, you know what I'm saying, leader.
Yeah.
Leading the league in mid-range attempts 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And this season, you actually attempted more than he did back then, which is crazy. There's going to be a lot of Melo haters in the yo, that's crazy. Yo, Melo be shooting the ball 100 times a game. Footwork is a key,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, of that whole process, creating space in that area.
Yeah.
How, where did you learn yours, and how did it become such a big part of your game?
Just a student. It started out with me being a student first. But even before, well, I had the luxury at 16, 17 years old to work with Kobe.
Yep.
You know, so I had that cheat code to really just sit there and lock in and listen to him and really break down details and small movements and learning how to play in a phone booth and be able to get your shot off. You know what I mean? So I learned that early on. But from that, I just was a student of how guys was able to create.
That's interesting. I didn't know he learned that from Kobe. See, I like this podcast. Shout out to 7 p.m. Brooklyn, yo. This is a dope podcast. Let's get it, y'all.
Space, get their shots off, whether if you were small or big. Like, for example, like I remember talking to Sam Cassell when I was 15, and
Mid-range master.
he used to show me how to, the bump, get the
Shot
bump,
fake.
shot fake, over the right shoulder, fadeaway. Like he showed me all that. You know what I mean? Like to Katino Mowgli, how off one dribble, hesitating, just pulling up. Like I paid attention. Like even Andre Miller.
Facts.
Andre Miller. He wasn't athletic at all, but he was able to get. He had the hezzy in there, getting to the basket, getting
Miller,
shot
man.
off. Like I pay attention to guys like that. So now when I can incorporate that with being 6'6", 6'7", athletic, all right, now I got a little bit more of a cheat code. If they able to do that, with lack of size, athleticism, whatever it may be, and I just try to incorporate that. So I've done that with everything. Like my first year in the league, I had Alex English as assistant coach. I used to sit there with him all the time and like, yo, how you do this? Like, motherfucker had that one dribble pull up. You couldn't block it. Every time. You know what I mean? So it's like those, like me being a student.
Alex English, he was a great ball player, one of the OGs. I didn't know he was known for the mid range, so I'm learning while I watch this. Though, shout to this podcast.
And having a cheat code to be able to, work with, my idol when it comes to basketball.
Yeah.
It just made me just pay attention to it even more detailed in a way.
Man, like all things, like music, sports, like it all kind of comes in cycles. And I think one of the dopest things that happened to folks who love the mid-range is SGA winning MVP.
For sure.
Because the way he plays the game is so reminiscent of you guys and how he gets his buckets as far as like getting in the 17, 15-foot range. How does it feel for you guys to see somebody win at the highest level playing a style that was so dissected while you guys were, well, not while you guys, but you're still playing it?
Any championship team that you've watched win a championship, they win the game in the mid-range.
Yeah, sure.
Yep. I don't give a fuck who it is. I don't give a how many threes you shoot. When it comes down to it, you have to get a bucket. Your three ain't going to always be there. You ain't going to always be able to get to the rack.
Won't be able to run all day long.
No.
Yeah.
If you have a midi, you're dangerous. Shea is dangerous because he plays for taking the best shot. It ain't about numbers or shooting the tray, and it's about taking the best shot. If you back off, I'm pulling. If I'm in the paint, I get here and this shot is wide open, I'm taking this shot. And just so happened, he's starting to master that mid-range when it comes to using his body, knowing his space, knowing where to get at, knowing angles. Like he's playing off of angles.
Yeah.
And the midi is all about angles.
Yeah.
If you get an angle and I get this shoulder on you, there's nothing you can do about it. Because if you bite back, then I'm a shot fake and you done.
To that point.
I never utilized a shot fake the way this nigga utilized it. This nigga shot fake 3-4 times in a row. You going to jump on one of them. But he added that to the game.
Yeah.
Sam Cassell taught me how to.
You see why veterans is important? Look at DeMar DeRozan say he learned from Allen English, or he learned from his competition like Andre Miller, or players that might have came in the league before him. These players, this is why basketball evolves so much, because you get the younger players asking how to do it, and then you hear how Melo explains he never put the shot fake the way DeMar DeRozan did, and that's just a part of it. It's like the evolution. It's a constant evolution. It's a constant variation of what you learn. It's a lot of that in basketball. Part of the reason why I enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to player one in the chat. We out here. Let's keep it going, y'all. Let's keep watching the content.
Get to the elbow left, shot fake.
Yeah.
And once you learn the shot fake, you actually be like, man, the shot fakes are bullshit.
Man.
Nah,
but once you get it, I'm saying when you young, you're like, you ain't thinking about using those shot fakes.
Yeah. To that point, like the 3-point line is actually easy to guard. That's why people shoot them so fast. Like, it's a line. You know what I mean? You run them off the line. They got to figure out what to do. I remember I tweeted something during the playoffs. I think it was about Boston. Everybody was killing me talking about like I'm talking shit. But at the end of the day, you got to figure out what to do when they run you off the three. And I think the best teams, they take what the game gives you. And if you open right there, you got to make it, obviously. But Like people don't understand. Like the reason why it's not the fact that everybody's shooting threes. Is this they live and die by it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I have to get a three.
There was a lot of talk about the Celtics this past playoff run when they were, shooting a record number of threes and
not adjust.
They were like, we're gonna shoot more. Like
they gonna shoot 60 threes a game.
It's crazy.
Like this is what they're gonna do regardless.
It was one point where instead of people shooting the mid range, they'll shoot the three further out.
Yeah.
Which was crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's because the narrative around the mid range was that's a bad shot.
Yeah.
And how the fuck is
Melo's about to go
that
off.
a
I don't know
bad?
what
That's,
happened.
to me, that's one of the most efficient shots.
Yeah.
And it's the toughest shot to make.
Right.
So what a midi does for me, the way I think about it is you have to, it's the work that you put in, the reps that you put in on the mid-range. Because that distance between a 19, 18, 19 footer and a 14, 15 footer, that's very hard to make when you got to stomp on a dime and just raise and pull. That's a hard shot to make, which is why they would say that's a bad shot.
Right.
Because if you don't work on that, you're not going to be effective in the mid-range. And they don't work on that today. So therefore, a lot of guys is not going to be effective in the mid-range.
How much the archetypes play into that though, man? You 6'8", 6'9", 6'7", you know what I mean? You can jump over, a lot of people. Like if you 6'1", 6'2", maybe a three-pointer is a more efficient shot for you because you're not going in the trees. But a lot of times
you 6'1" and 6'2", you get downhill, you throwing a lob, you kicking out.
You're making plays.
You 6'1", 6'2", you're a point guard.
I think the only person I can think of that really masters the mid-range at that size is probably like Jalen Brunson.
CP.
Like, he's somebody, CP.
They get inside, they get creative. To me, that's what the mid-range is. Like Rudy said, like they run you off the three. Now what?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like now you got to use your basketball mind and be like, yo, I'm gonna get to this spot. I'm gonna get to this spot. But it's all happening in real time.
Nobody's telling you to run him off the midi. They gonna say run you off the three.
Right.
And when they run you off the three, you got a split second to make a decision. You got two dribbles once they run you off the three.
Yeah.
So already know what the fuck you gonna do.
Yeah.
Either it's going, if I'm gonna shoot this bitch, or I see somebody closing in and I gotta kick it out.
Yeah.
So it's a very split decision that you have to make in that short period of time. When somebody running you off the three, it's hard, Chan, because you in your mind set, I'm gonna take this three.
Yeah.
And they run you off, you're like, damn, now you gotta think the game.
Yeah.
Somebody closing now, you might have the lob, you have the dump off, you might have a corner pass,
Weak side three.
you might have to kick back out to the three.
Yeah.
It's a lot of shit that you have to process in a short period of time.
In addition to that, you mentioned about the pump faking that DeMar DeRozan does, right? And anytime I see the pump faking, I think of Kobe. I'm like, that's all Kobe.
See, Cole shot fake twice. He might spin, he might reverse pivot on the spin.
Yeah.
He might shoot the bitch with his left. Cole was just wild with his shit. He ain't going nowhere. You know he going left.
Yeah.
And he gonna shot fake 3 times, stay down. Yeah. Nigga still jump.
Man,
Coach, get his ass out.
I seen this nigga one time, shot fake 3 times. Look around, see who you can pass the ball to. Looked at the defender again. One hard ass shot.
Look at the company that they talking about, bro. Look at the players that they talking about. These are great players, bro. And all part of their game is that mid-range. I'm just saying.
Still shot it. Maybe
Shot it. Yeah.
I'm trying to wait for it to come back in. I don't know what's up with the visuals. Let me try to get it back. I don't know why it's doing that. But basically, that's the gist of it. You know what I'm saying? You see these players.
One hard ass shot.
Still shot it. Maybe
Shot it. Yeah.
Listen, I'm gonna give you your flowers, champ, because for you to still play that game in today's game, where you got to hear the noise of that is a bad shot.
Yeah.
that is not an effective shot. And for you to go against the norm, go against the noise, again, above the noise when it comes to your game.
Yeah.
You pay attention to your game. You don't pay attention to nobody else. So I really want to, take my hat off to you because I'm sure it's very difficult for you to play in today's game.
Yeah. And it's tough. And it goes back to where, like, I never want young guys that's coming up to feel discouraged, like they got to go out there and be Steph Curry all the time. Because everybody's just not going to be Steph Curry. It's one Steph Curry. What he's able to do is incredible. I think we would never see nobody else like that. But I always, and it's crazy, I heard you talk about it with your son one time, that you taught him the game inside out first.
Yeah.
And that's not preached enough within our game. So from my standpoint, I try to be a statesman when it comes to the mid-range to show that if you're great at this, you can.
This is some of the stuff that I'll be saying playing inside out. See, I study the greats, man. I study the great players. I just don't have this knowledge. I study the game. I'm a student.
Still be successful.
Facts.
It still could, take you a long way. Like it's a blessing to this day when I'm top 25 all time in scoring.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I can't believe it, but I stuck to me being myself. I didn't let nobody change that. I just worked and tried to be great at what I did, and it got me this far. Don't be discouraged from it because you see everybody doing all this other stuff. It's crazy. I was watching the game. What's one of y'all? I was like, man, better see when somebody shoot a mid-range. Then we watching the game. I'm like, watch, see if somebody shoot a mid-range. Every time down was 3, 3, 3, 3, miss 3, 3, 3, 3. Accidental fucking mid-range shot. That was an accident. He didn't even want to shoot that. He just threw the shit up. 3. You know what I mean? But it's like, you look at all the greats, they mastered that part of the game. You know what I mean?
You've been in the league, what's it, 16 years?
Yeah, this will be 17.
You old,
You're super vet now.
Super vet. 16 years, man. And seeing it, you've seen it evolve through all the eras, man. Like last summer.
Yo. Point. Let me put this. Let me get it right. Let me get it together. Oh, there you go. All right, so basically you see what they say, you know what I'm saying? And you can see how, the players, Kobe, Jordan, Wade, AI, all mid-range guards, Big Homie in the chat. He said, Breezy, Big Homie, don't brown nose nobody. Next year, people going to look back and appreciate your content more. Keep pushing. We riding with you. No, I ain't brown nosing that comment. Melo, my favorite player. Or he was my favorite player. And I watched his podcast. And it was just to further my point of what I was saying about why we should value Cam Thomas, because he's a player that got a mid-range game. That's all it is, Big Homie. You know what I'm saying? Money Mike, he said, damn, DeMar top 25 all-time scoring. That is crazy. I never knew that. Yeah, DeMar DeRozan got as many points as Steph Curry last time I checked. No smut on my rat. Last time that I checked. Hold on. So this is, when you Google it, this is what they say about mid-range game. They say currently the best mid-range shooters in the NBA include Kevin Durant, DeMar DeRozan, and Kyrie Irving, showcasing exceptional shooting percentages and skills in this area. Hold on, let me make sure y'all say it with me. All right, cool. So didn't say top mid-range shooter in today's NBA. Kevin Durant, known for his scoring ability. Durant has a mid-range shooting percentage of 51.8%, making 251 shots out of 485 attempts during the last season. His versatility and height allow him to create shots effectively. DeMar DeRozan, 43%. He makes 235 out of 547. His ability to score consistently from the mid-range has been a key part of his offensive arsenal. Kyrie Irving. Irving finished the last season with a mid-range shooting percentage of 49.8%. That's just under 50%, making him one of the most efficient scorers in this range. His ball handling skills and creativity allow him to get quality shots. DeAndre Ayton. I mean, he could have missed me with that one. The center has shown proficiency in mid-range shooting and finishing with a percentage of 51.2% last season. His shooting touch adds a valuable dimension to his game. Chris Paul, a veteran, a point guard, Paul remains effective in the mid-range, utilizing his experience and skill to create shots. His shot percentage in this area is consistently high, making him a reliable option. Um, oh no, I ain't brown in that show. Um, his historical context. Historically, players like Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, and Allen Iverson are celebrated for their mid-range shooting prowess. They set the standard for what it means to be great mid-range shooters in the NBA, influencing many current players. In conclusion, the mid-range shot remains a crucial part of the game, and these players exemplify the skill and effectiveness of shooting from this area. As the NBA continues to evolve, the ability to score from mid range will still hold significant value, especially for players who can create their own shot. Cam Thomas, you know what I'm saying? Cam Thomas can create his own shot. Um, Money Mike said Kawhi, Devin Booker are great mid range shooters too. That's a fact. You know what I'm saying? But that's pretty much all I had. And I said that to say all of the contract conversation y'all got around Cam Thomas. Again, like I said, I just wanted him to sign the contract just so he could show the Brooklyn Nets and other fans that show the world that he is the best teammate for these rookies. The chemistry that he'll have being there, knowing the system of Jordy Fernandez, being a veteran player on the Brooklyn Nets, I think it's a good look for the Nets to prioritize him, for them to lowball him, you know what I mean, and make it seem like international players are more important than national players. It's just a nasty look, you know what I'm saying? It's bad on their behalf. They were wrong for not signing Jared Allen. They were wrong for signing Joe Harris. They were wrong for not signing Spencer Dinwiddie. You know, they could have signed Karis LeVert. You know, they made a lot of mistakes on who they signed and who they didn't sign. More vital mistakes, not a lot, but vital mistakes with the Jared Allen and the whole James Harden. And I'm saying all that to say they look like they about to make the same mistake. And it's sad to see. You know what I'm saying? It's sad to see. But you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna be here for a long time. I'm gonna throw the link in the chat, you know, see if y'all want to chop it up. But yeah, I'm not gonna be here a long time. I just wanted to pull up and say that. And you know, I got a chance to jump on Gary's show earlier. And yeah, I'm not feeling Kaminga, Ivy here. I think Ivy takes the ball out of Yeager's hand. He averaged 5 assists. Somebody disagree with me. I didn't hear the soliloquy on how they did and why they disagree with me. But realistically, he do. If he averaged 5 assists, that's what you want from Yeager or Traore. Like you trying to put the ball in their hands for them to get assists, for them to play make. You put the ball in Jaden Ivey hands, he's doing exact. At least Cam Thomas ain't trying to do what Yeager and Nolan Traore is trying to do. He's trying to do what he's supposed to do, and that's score the ball. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's conflict in that. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Iceman in the building. What up, Ice?
Yo,
Yo,
Yo, what's good, bro?
I'm in
Yo,
the
Jay, what
building
up,
too.
Jay?
I'm in the building too. Know what I mean? Don't think I'm not in the building.
yo,
Oh yeah, I seen it. Then I look and I ain't see it because you ain't the guest, man. You got the key.
Nah, the funny shit is, I was asking niggas in the chat, I don't know if you've seen it, what was the over under on you being late for the pod, but I called
Yeah.
you. I called you because I was gonna be funny and just start the pod for you early on time. Like 9:15, I'm here, man. Breezy not here, but I'm here at 9:15.
Nah, I was, you know how I be, man.
Nah, I know
Dad
how to
duty.
be, bro. I was just joking.
Yeah, but nah, for the most part, bro. I mean, shout out to everybody that's still tuned in, man. Shout out to the old chat. Shout out to Barry. He said he'll take Cam Thomas on the Rockets. Nah, man. I bet you would. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to he said it was good though. We got a link, man. Shout out to Money Mike. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to Jay and Ice, man.
Hold up,
Um,
before you go any further.
yeah.
I just need to see how you feel about this Cam Thomas shit now, because we spoke it earlier in the group chat. You was like that the 28 million was enough, not enough. What you think?
I think that he played. Yeah, I want him to take that and play. I want him to say, "All right, I got it more than the 6 million. They met me in the middle." You know what I mean? They didn't give me the number I really wanted, but it was more than they previously offered. They met me in the middle. So I kind of don't want him to be disgruntled. I kind of want him to take and sign the contract and then show that he deserves more than that. But, don't go to war as a rookie. It's not you don't have a hold on, you don't I don't think hold on, I don't think he has enough skin in the game. He's a rookie. This is his first time doing negotiations. I think he should be the one to look at it like, all right, they got the upper hand. I don't have that much negotiating power. Take the contract and just play great basketball, and then you know what I mean. Reconvene, when necessary. You know what I'm saying, as soon as possible. Since you're about getting a long-term contract.
Breezy, did you get the message I just sent you? I don't know if you saw it. Cam Thomas removed all the Nets info from his Instagram. I just sent you.
Yeah, I know. I sent that to me. Yeah, I know.
Okay.
I know you want to come make light out of it and go off, man. But realistically, I'm dealing with enough right now, John. You know what I'm saying? One of my favorite players look like he don't want to even play for the team that I rock with. You know what I mean? So
Bro,
I'm
it's
going
because
through a
of the
lot
shit
right
that
now.
you saying right now. And not because of you, because that's how the organization feel. But the organization should feel like compensating him for inconveniencing him and impeding his career for the past few years, and they should be showing loyalty to him the same way he been showing loyalty to them. Like, it's some bullshit that's going on right now. And I said weeks ago I didn't want this to get messy, and it's getting real messy.
Said a month ago, Jay. Like this was the worst case scenario and it's playing before my eyes. But this is Sean Marks talking about. Like, he had no problem placating Ben Simmons, but Cam Thomas, he did something so horrible by being available to play when he could. Like he had to earn everything on this team. He never got no free pass. This organization.
Don't do that. Don't do
No,
that.
wait. No, can I say this too? How many times did Sean Marks come out and say, I believe in Ben Simmons? I think he still got something. He practiced Patty Mills. He is therapist on the team.
I'm not going to go there because I'm going to use this, right, in this conversation. Everyone wants Cam back on the team, but I'm going to say this. You say Sean Marks overpaid guys for certain guys. Now the market is there where he doesn't overpay someone, and y'all want him to just go ahead and drop the track for Cam and overpay him. You know
it's
what I'm saying?
Not about the money anymore. It's about just sending out like you care about the kid somewhat. Like, say something for the kid. Why does he got to defend himself to all these guys that want to see him fail in the NBA media? I don't think they want to see him personally fail, but they're going at him really bad right now. And the organization's just being mute because they expect Cam to just walk his tail between his legs and say, "I'm here to be here." Like how I don't agree with.
Well,
I understand the market part of it.
All of it is not true. I mean, all of it ain't wrong. Some of it ain't true. Cam,
what ain't true?
The stuff that about Cam's passing, and I said it on here before. He passes when he gets in trouble. He doesn't pass to pass. It's pass because I'm in a situation and I need a pass. It's not pass.
But that's not his job, bro. His job isn't to play.
It is though.
It's not, bro. It's not, bro. His job is to shoot the ball before playmaking.
Hold on.
It's to score before playmaking.
I got you. I'm gonna explain the situation. You're the best player on the team, correct? Breeze, he's the best player on the team, or is he the best scorer on the team?
Last season, bro, he was the best player on the team.
I'm just saying in general, best player on the team or best scorer on the team. Because if he's the best player, that takes him to another level. If he's the best scorer, then okay, he don't gotta move the rock like that.
Bro, they had point guards, Schroeder. They had the point guards in front of him, but he wasn't supposed to be a point guard. They trying to make him and force him to be a point guard. He's not a point guard. His first thing to being on the basketball court isn't to be a playmaker. It's to score the ball. When he was in college, he averaged 24 points because he was a scorer.
Breeze, don't go to college. We're not in college. We on the net.
Hold on. What I'm saying is the rookies that he got from the rookies that they got. I look at their college stats, and bro, they wasn't averaging no 5 assists and all of this and that, bro. They was mediocre. So it's not like we got players that could replace Cam Thomas. It's nasty, bro.
All right. So what I'm gonna say is I'm not bumping heads with y'all, but I'm saying like you got to look at what they're saying. They're saying Cam is a ball stopper, right? They're saying he's a We know he got to score. He's the only scorer. But when I say that he passes when he get in trouble, and Zach Lowe says the same thing, he passes when he get in trouble, that tells you he has he don't either he don't trust the people around him or he has a limited IQ.
Yo,
right?
I'm
with you.
Even with whatever deficiencies that you're saying, you cannot sit here and tell me that Nick Claxton is worth more than him.
The market says Nick Claxton is worth more than him. The market says that Nick Claxton. Hold up. The market said that Nick Claxton was in a running for Defensive Player of the Year, and Cam was nowhere near anything like that. And that's the difference between them two.
It was only hold on. Let me say this. Let me reply to Ice. Bro, what I'm saying is when it comes down to the Nets and impacting winning, I'm not talking about no market. I'm not talking about no business. This is where I don't get carried away with you guys. Y'all want to talk the business side of basketball? I'm talking about on the floor when they actually playing basketball together. Who impact winning more than Cam Thomas on the Brooklyn Nets? Nick Claxton? Is it Nick Claxton? So my point is, if it's not nobody, why does everybody that doesn't impact winning more than Cam Thomas get paid more than Cam Thomas? That's a problem.
That's a problem. It's the market, bro, and that's where you don't want to go into, but it's the market. That's what it is. That's what I'm trying to explain to you. Nick Claxton didn't get that money just because Nick Claxton wanted that money. It wasn't that. The market said Nick Claxton were worth that money. That's why he got it.
Nigga, they paid Claxton the money, and he's not as good as Cam Thomas. They
it's not about if he's it's good.
They paid Cam Johnson the money just because he was Mikal Bridges' best friend.
It was a bad investment.
Absolutely wrong. Is a problem.
It was a bad investment on Claxton. He didn't even want to be here last year. Like, that guy had so many tantrums and tiffs. It's like you got gifted generational wealth that a kid like Cam is struggling to even make $8 million right now. Yeah, Claxton got it, and he acts like he's bigger than everybody else on his team, but he's never even been on that level by himself as a player without stars riding their coattails and getting all those assist passes. Like, Claxton did not get that money because he was just Defensive Player of the Year. It's because Sean Marks overpaid and didn't want to lose him for nothing because Sean Marks doesn't understand talent evaluation.
Wasn't overpaid for Claxton. It was the market for Claxton.
What market? Nobody wanted him besides Memphis. There was no market for him, bro. Tell me who wanted. I want a list. Who wanted? Stop saying market. Who wanted Nick Claxton? I want a list.
It's not about who wants Nick Claxton. It's not about who wants Nick Claxton. It's what the market says Nick Claxton is worth.
Ice won't say it. Ice won't say it. Ice is trying to be too political here.
You're not listening. It's what the market. It's not about who wants said player. It's what the market what the market says Nick Claxton will worth. That's what they gave him.
Ice, nobody wanted him.
Hold on. When Cam Johnson got paid, right? Cam Johnson wasn't the first one in the market to get paid. It was dude that play on the Bucks right now, Kyle Kuzma. It was Kyle Kuzma, then Cam Johnson, and then the dude that play on Portland, and he got the biggest payday out of them. It was 1, 2, 3. He set the market. Cam got his pay, and then dude on Portland got paid after. That's what the market does.
Listen, well, I'm not even disagreeing with you, Ice, but it still don't justify the Nets not paying this player, bro. Even with the whole soliloquy, it doesn't, even business-wise, technically, yes, they can do that. But morally, building a winning culture, these are two elements that they fucking up. And my thing is, bro, if you just gonna do players like that when it comes to business, don't be mad when they come in. Don't care if they win. They just want to get that big contract because you're not building no morale. You're not building a winning culture. You basically saying, listen, if the market dictates we could give you pennies on a dollar, we're going to give you pennies on a dollar. It shows that you're not trying to build a family foundation, a actual winning culture where we look at each other like brothers, like we playing for each other, not we just showing up to work. And That's
Right.
basically what I'm trying to get to. You know what I'm saying?
No,
That's
Breeze was
basically
100% righteous. Now, where's the authenticity that Sean Marks so-called has? He likes to placate everybody, but Cam Thomas, for some reason, that's where the road stops. Now Marks wants to act all greedy. No, not greedy, but he wants to act like he does. He wants to be super cheap now, Cam. So
stingy.
you have no problem doing with anybody else. But for some reason, the buck stops with Cam Thomas. And like Breezy said, even if Cam was an expendable piece, you still should have had this planned out already. A fair middle tier 18, 20 million salary. Even if he was going to get traded 2-3 years, at least that would have been done and sealed. So we would have to have the media going after this kid while he's trying to fight for a few bucks right now in millions of dollars from 8 to 10 million.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate
Listen,
the organization just let it play out like this. It should have been
listen,
done
listen.
already.
Hold on. Let me say
Should be
this.
done
Let me say
already.
this. Hold on. Mid-range stats. He's number 15 out of 20 in the league, bro. Go ahead. But he's number 15 out of 20 in the league.
I'm trying to say
Bro,
that
he got more 40-point games than Scottie Pippen, Kawhi
yeah,
Leonard.
no,
Fucking,
I don't disagree with that. I'm saying like
it's a
because
list.
what I go ahead, Jay.
I'm just saying, Cam Thomas is elite, bro. And if anybody knows it, the Nets know it, and they should have paid him instead of trying to play whatever fucking games they playing. And they're gonna play. You play stupid games, you're gonna win stupid prizes, and that's what happens.
Facts, Jay. Like, seriously, there should be no reason for this happening. We're not winning this year. We all know this. But for some reason, the organization now wants to act like there's a plan next 2-3 years. There is no plan right now. They're basically hoping they save up enough cash space that a star will want to come here and save the organization. Like, how are we going to build anything? This is going back to what we did 4 years ago where it didn't work out. If that's the Sean Marks and Joe Desai old playbook that I mentioned months ago, we're not building anything. And I hope these young guys turn out to be good rotation guys, but there's no alpha guy on this team that could be that cornerstone guy unless you somehow get lucky next year's draft, which hasn't worked out for the Nets. So really, if next year's draft doesn't work out and you trade Cam Thomas this year on a qualifying offer, that is a huge miscalculation if you're this organization. I know you keep saying market, but there was never going to be a market for Cam Thomas. At the end of the day, Sean should have had this plan and seal with Cam Thomas, so none of this stuff with media would have happened, is what me, Breezy, and others are trying to tell you.
You just said something, right? If they trying to bring a star here, right? That's one. So if there's someone above Cam, the star, right? The star power, right? And you don't know what Cam is, which I sent Breezy that post from Sports Illustrated. I'm agreeing with Cam should be on the team no matter what. But I'm just saying, like, because of the market and what you're saying, they don't know what Cam. No one knows what Cam is. He's still in the middle of being a six man and being a starter. So what are you paying somebody that's in between six man and starter? The market doesn't say that I'm paying this guy if I'm not sure. Or I'm paying this guy this money if I'm not sure. That's the problem with Cam. No one knows exactly what he is, and you're not going to give said player set amount of money because you don't know what he is. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I keep saying the market has to say what Cam is in order for him to get paid.
Right, but what I'm saying is, you know it. You know what I'm saying? Not to say it like that, but you'll give contracts to Drew Timmy, all of these G League players. You don't want to show no commitment to him in the long run when it's the best player Sean Marks drafted. Period. When you think of the top 5 draft picks that Sean Marks got, it's definitely Cam Thomas in that equation. Now, my point is him being an international player. Maybe his focus is international players, and I think it's nasty work. You know, that's nasty work. If you're going to overlook national talent, Cam Thomas, and some of the players that you could have got in this 2025 draft, that's nasty work. Like, do not for lack of better words, just keep overlooking national talent for international players, especially when you contrast the stats from national player to international player, and the national player got better statistics and put up better numbers than the international player. We should not be setting precedents saying that an international player is better than national players. No, the elite players, and I just think that's the misunderstanding right now. The elite is all international as far as MVPs is considered, and they pretty much lead their team. But we didn't get no team leaders in this draft from what I can see, and they shouldn't lead the team over Cam Thomas. I'm just keeping it real. Even MPJ, him going from a 4th spot to them saying, or whoever said it, he gonna be a number 1 option and score a shot and be a point leader in the league. I just think it's overkill, bro. Y'all really trying to make it seem like he's an insignificant piece to this roster, and I think it's nasty work. If we're going to continue to overlook national talent, it's not going to pan out good for our franchise. They have to recognize the talent that's here in the States before prioritizing going abroad to international teams, bro. I just think the talent over here is still better than international talent. I don't see the Brooklyn Nets on that same page. That's how I feel about that.
There's definitely a lack of chemistry, cohesion, and communication, Breeze, like you're talking about. And my thing is this, with this whole thing on Michael Porter Jr. being leading scorer, I've talked with some people, and it seems that consensus could be that they're trying to do what they did with Bridges, have a guy who is a third option, let's say, on a good team, have him now be a temporary 1 or 2 guy, move Cam from the equation for some particular reason, and then hope that these next 2 years, Michael Porter Jr. is like averaging 25 to 30 points, and the star's going to want to come here, like I just talked to Ice about. Like, that's a huge gamble. Let's remember, Michael Porter Jr. had back injuries, like that kind of hurt his game a little bit. He's a good rebounder. He shoots the 3, but it's going to take him time to transition to being that temporary option. I feel like that's a huge gamble by the organization. We're hoping that a 3 guy who's going to be a temporary 1 or 2 guy recruits a star. That's a lot to ask of a guy who's been primarily a third option most of his life. So if that's what we're doing, we're moving Cam from the equation because you don't want Cam to take away Michael Porter Jr.'s shots, I still understand why you're underpaying the kid at the point. If he's going to be on this team, you're probably going to want the young guys to play as well. So I just think that this organization overplayed their hand by saying that they don't see Cam Thomas in their long-term plans. I think many people saw that, way before this, but you're making it way too obvious. Like, I agree with you, Breezy. They're making it way too obvious they don't want this kid in their plans. But still, he should have got a fair middle-tier deal, and this all would have been settled eventually when his team was ready to contend. But unfortunately, now you're making this kid feel resentful of the fact that he does want to be a part of this, even if he's not going to be a long-term piece. He just wants to get paid and show what he can do. And so his agent's like, well, we don't want you to do that, Cam. We want you to be a 2 guard that's eventually going to be a 6 guy. And Cam's like, I don't got to play your game. And that's the only power Cam has at this point. He could say, you know what? I'll take the $6 million qualifying offer. You want to trade me, and that'll be the end of it. But if they do that, I think the organization really overplayed their hand and handled this disgustingly, because the goal was not for Cam to take a $6 million qualifying offer and you trade him for nothing. The goal was, if Cam was going to be an expendable piece, you sign him to an $18, $20 million salary for 2 to 3 years, and then you trade him when the time is right. But if they can't even do that right, this was really not played the right way, and it's unfortunate.
So
it really
14 mil from 28. That's $4 million. $4 million a year. Of course, you're gonna lose out on $8 million, but $4 million, and you saying that he's being underpaid. Now, when I say Josh Giddey was offered 20 and he don't want that, and Kuminga was probably offered the same thing and they don't want that. Cam was offered less. You know what I'm saying? They all want 30. So what is the underpay? Actually, what is the underpay? What is the see? I'm keep saying that, but what is the market for the guys until one of these guys sign a contract? There is no middle tier. The middle tier could be 14 mil a year. That could be the middle tier. You see what I'm saying? Who says the middle tier is 20? Why do we want to make the middle tier 20? It's not, you know what I'm saying? Who says the middle tier is 20? That's the problem. That's why I keep saying that's the problem right there. They don't want to do nothing until it's set. You know what I'm saying? If they set the market at 14 and Cam signed it, then everybody else is going to get 14. Or maybe 15, or maybe 16. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
they're not going to go too much higher than that.
Now, I just want you to speak to the actual basketball side of it, not the business side. Like, let it happen. You know what I mean? Like, we don't know what's going to happen. I like the fact, like I said, I do more listening to this part, but I want to hear the soliloquy of fans agreeing or disagreeing about whether or not he fits the rookies. You know, does it make sense for him to be on a roster? Will it help their player development be better? I'm asking Ice, then we're going to go around the panel.
I think it helps both. I think he helps them and they help him because they do things that each other don't. So what I mean by that is Cam is, like I sent you, they said he's in isolation. He is the NBA's best isolation scorer before SJ, before Jalen Brunson. I just sent you that. I don't know if you want to pull it up, but he is the best scorer in isolation there is in NBA basketball, right? So,
who, Cam Thomas?
Yeah, I sent you that. That's what I sent you in the inbox on Twitter. From Sports Illustrated. Yeah, he is the #1 isolation scorer in the NBA. The best isolation scorer.
I saw that stat too. He's right.
Yeah, so they got him as the best. And these guys know how to move the ball, which they believe Cam Thomas, that's his struggle. He doesn't move the ball enough. He shoots a lot, but he's a scorer. So I think they will help him to move the ball along and not, you know what I'm saying, get caught up in trying to put up numbers and play more of the game the coach wants them to play, even though he can. So I think Cam needs to, because we don't know what Cam is. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what Cam is. I think Cam is one of the best scorers, but the all-around player, I don't know what he can become because he's still young. You know what I'm saying? So I think there is a chance if he plays along with other guys like this, that he could become to the point, and he can show everybody, like you saying, Breezy, that he's just more than a scorer. He just needs time to prove that. And players that come in, they're gonna need time to prove that they wasn't drafted in the wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like they were drafted for a reason, and we're gonna get to it. You know what I'm saying? So I think they match up perfectly.
That's what's up. What about you, Jay? You think these rookies fit what Cam Thomas is, or how you feel about it? All right, Jay. Listen, tell them hold on peppers. Tell them to hold up onions. You know what I'm saying? Put some fries on the side. But ultimately, the way I feel about it is that this gets overlooked because he's not a playmaker. He's not a rebounder. He's not a stellar defender. He's out of the stars in isolation scoring. He was the most efficient last season. You know what kind of company they're talking about? Topping SGA and Brunson and more. The SGA won the championship. I don't know if y'all remember that. Like, bro, he's doing that. Y'all don't think y'all should surround Cam Thomas with more talent? Excuse me. Yeah, and then the trade soliloquies I hear about trading Cam Thomas, they not jumping. They not, oh my gosh, let me consider that. Nah, bro, these shits are stretches at best. The whole feasibility of it really realistically happening is far off. And none of the players that y'all talk about can score the ball the way Cam Thomas scored. Did Ivy ever had a 40-point scoring game? Does he have the same scoring prowess as a Cam Thomas? Because when it come down to it, it ain't always at the end when we need to win a game. It was because of an excellent pass. No, it was because of a shot creator, not a playmaker. And yeah, it go both ways. This isn't 100% on one side. But at the end of the day, for the Brooklyn Nets to downplay shot creating and up playmaking so much higher than shot creation is nasty work. When you talk about building a championship roster, you gotta have playmaking, yes. You gotta have shot creation, yes. You cannot be redundant and have too many playmakers or too many shot creators. Off rip, they already got quote unquote 3 playmakers, and there's 1 shot creator in Cam Thomas. If anything, you're supposed to get another shot creator. When you think about the last team that won it, you're gonna say Jalen Williams and Shea are shot creators. Who they played? A team with 2 shot creators, Therese Halliburton and Siakam. Both shot creators. These teams that when they build in them championship rosters, it's going to have 2 shot creators. So you take this one off in Cam Thomas, you gotta replace him with another shot creator. It's no way around that shit. No way. So
look at that. Look at that, man. Oh, I'm just coming back to the computer. Look at that. Topping, hey, yo, SGA and Brunson pulls. That's crazy. But word.
Yo, easy, bro. If he need to be
bumps in, man.
If he need to be, yeah, he shot create. He put, I think because of the coach, he got him facilitating more than shot creating. But for him to facilitate is because he's getting 2 feet in the paint. He's able to drive and kick. He playing inside of the 3-point line. So maybe he does facilitate, but still he can shot create. And case in point, easy. All championship rosters have at minimum 2 shot creators. If they don't, they don't win. It's that simple.
No, that's a very fair point, Breeze. And my thing is this: you asked if Cam could work the rookies. I think he could. I think for his role being a two-guard primary now with all these ball handlers, he'll be able to pass the ball out to these guys. The thing is, not a lot of these guys are going to make crazy shots besides Michael Porter Jr., who if Cam passed to, I think Cam could get maybe 2 to 3 assists just off of that. But the problem is this organization, with what they've done direction-wise, you drafted a lot of guys because you want them to play positionless basketball. I thought Jaeger would be running point. Now they want him to be a wing that distributes the ball. So he's not necessarily the point guy. So if Nolan Traore, let's say, is going to be the starting guard, him and Cam Thomas, that's probably a very short-term thing. I don't think those two guys in your backcourt is sustainable when winning matters. But that's not a big thing to worry. It's about development, right, next year. So I think Cam would be his natural role. I think his playmaking would still continue to evolve. The defense, we're not really too crazy about. But the problem is this. You draft all these positionless guys, and you're trying to force Cam Thomas to be something he's not. He's not going to be a positionless guy. His defense is going to get crazy better, but what he can give you is easy buckets. But the way his organization's going, and if this isn't resolved by like middle August, I think you just have to sign and trim at that point. I know that's something you
No,
don't
I
want
know,
to hear.
John. I'm not talking about that. I'm trying to get your soliloquy about whether or not he's a good teammate. In your opinion, before they play,
Right,
obviously, we don't see them
right,
next to each other yet, but just not the business side, but
right. Just the playing
just
side.
as a teammate. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Cam would do well with these young guys. I think for him, he'll obviously be trying to make those clutch shots, whether they're up points or down points, but I think he will be passing to the guys. I think him and Jaeger, that could be something good if they let Jaeger actually run point like he's supposed to. And him and Michael Porter Jr., can those two develop? Can they distribute the ball together, not just necessarily take all the shots in the team? Like, I think Cam and Michael Porter Jr., they could be something there. And I think he could help these young guys as far as their mechanics go. We talked about the mid-range shot. I don't think many of these young guys can make mid-range shots, but Cam can. So I definitely think he could help them on their offensive evolution a bit because he's the most natural bucket guy in the interior. I think that could help these young guys. It's just unfortunate that the organization doesn't want to do that. They just want these guys to chuck three-point shots. So I feel like they should utilize Cam's mid-range game with these young guys if they want him to build chemistry with them, because I think Cam would want to help them get offensively confident, even though it's not going to look great the first year. So I think he could work with these young guys. It's just unfortunate the
Yeah.
organization doesn't see it that way.
Nah, I feel you. Shout out to Range Rove. He said Cam Thomas and MPJ is the best shooting tandem in the NBA since the Splash Brothers. Yo,
Wow.
this you would think this comes from big optimism, bro. But trust me, man, this chat be funny, man. Yo, Easy and Ice be trying to be funny on the low. I see you, Ice. You ain't slick, bro. I see you and Easy in the chat talking about the CT show. In the midst of all of this, I'm not gonna duck and hide and not have no content pushing back against the Brooklyn Nets. If they're going to trade Cam Thomas, I'm critiquing all of them. You know what I'm saying? All of them. And again, shout to Jordy Fernandez, but bro, you doing the most. You should be more vocal for Cam Thomas. You seen Jamal Murray play. He gets to the mid-range. You seen the DeAndre Jordan, De'Aaron Fox get to the mid-range. You see a Malik Monk get to the mid-range. You seen players on your as an assistant coach put up points, put up buckets, get into the mid-range. So you should be in defense. And on top of that, we ain't the Golden State Warriors. We not the Splash Brothers. This whole copy and paste, the Warriors won it by taking X amount of threes. Let ChatGPT tell us how to win and do exactly copy and paste. That shit don't work. I'm not rocking with that. And y'all take away, and I seen for what it's worth, MPJ was on that list. He was like number 19 or 18 for in the top 20 for mid-range scorers. So if we got Cam Thomas and MPJ and Danny Wolf, that gives us 3 players that plays inside the 3-point line that actually could score points for the Brooklyn Nets. I just don't see what the problem is, bro. Like seriously, bro. I at the end of the day, like this whole prioritizing international players and try to start new, and you're still not replacing Cam Thomas with none of the players that's been mentioned thus far. So.
No, Easy just being funny. So I mean, but I'm gonna ask you a question, Bree, because there's things. What do you think is the main thing that Cam Thomas needs to get better at? Especially if it don't matter what team he's on, what is in his game that he needs that you feel like is the is the
The
biggest thing
main
that he
thing,
needs to get
yeah.
better at. What is that?
The main thing is his defensive IQ when the ball is in motion, and he has to find the player to close out on a 3-point shot. He has to make sure that he knows where the ball is, and when it's time for him to close out on a 3-point shot, he needs to run that player off the 3-point line and contest that 3-pointer. That's what I need him to do. If he can do that, bro, it's gonna make him a better player.
See,
That's
I
the
think.
main thing, though, Ice. The main thing.
See, I don't think that for me. I don't think that's it. I think it's exactly what Melo and them was talking about. Is he's got to lessen his dribbles and raise his IQ higher. He's got to be able to move the ball quicker. He's got to be able to see the game in a different light. I think that part is what, and not really the defense. I think that part of his game, the IQ part of, you know what I'm saying, knowing when to get somebody involved, when do I can get my points anytime. I don't think he knows that yet. I think Cam just goes out there and score. But if he realized I can get my points at any time, now I can get y'all involved. And when it's time for me to get my 5 buckets or 3 buckets or 2 buckets, whenever I need to get it, I know when to get it and how to get it and where to get it on the floor. I think that is the problem of people seeing him as a 6-man and the problem seeing him as somebody who starts. And that's what I think.
He showed those flashes last year, though, Ice. If we're looking at the limited sample size, towards the end, he was making those plays. That Bulls game, even though they lost, he had, 8 to 10 assists and scoring his points. I feel like Cam did show that. He was a lot quicker last year. I think he put on some strength, which kind of led to the hamstring things, but he did look quicker, more efficient. It's just unfortunate we couldn't see it for 50 games. I think that's ultimately what did sink his mark is just those limited games. But still, I did see some small progressions. I just think the problem with the organization is they want him to make it super quick. Cam is physically who he is. He's not going to transform into a Shea overnight or any of these other guys that they want to keep comparing him to. He can only be Cam Thomas, a solid bucket scorer that can pass out the ball every now and then. But if that's not good enough for the organization, trade him and save the pain and agony of this kid having to worry about his future and what it's going to be. Because I don't want any more distractions. And I don't want Cam Thomas to feel like he's a distraction. He just wants to ball out. He's only 23 years old. They're giving this guy Ajita at 23, making him such a polarizing figure. I feel like he doesn't deserve that. I feel like the Brooklyn base members who support him don't deserve that. So the organization, if you don't value him, trade him and let him go build his craft elsewhere. And if he plays well against you, it's your fault for undervaluing him and never giving him a fair shot. I think that's the truth that they don't want to talk about.
If Cam is on another
I don't
team,
want to talk about
nobody
it
guard that.
like you keep saying it, and I feel like everything you saying is great until you get to the part. If you don't value him, like everything after that, I'll be muting you.
Right.
No, but it's true. I'm just speaking from a truth side of it, Jay. Like, I don't want Cam to be on this team making little money, but they're waiting to trade the guy. Like, at the end of the day, if Cam doesn't want to play your game, let him go elsewhere because Cam doesn't have to play their game. He doesn't have to be a pawn waiting to get traded for that star me and I's been talking about. If Cam wants to go play elsewhere and get the money he thinks he deserves, then work it out with him. They had no problem working out all these other deals for these people they overpaid. Why is Cam Thomas different in that case?
To work it out, they need to negotiate and figure it out. And
right,
that may be part of the negotiation process, but it looks stupid in the media. So I hope this wasn't the planned negotiation process, but
it's been horrible, Jay. Like you've seen it, Jay. It's been foul.
If they don't keep Cam Thomas, if Cam Thomas doesn't start the season with the Brooklyn Nets, this offseason is a F, a minus F.
They might do that. Like, imagine they do start him as a 6-man to start the season and prioritize the young guys. At that point, why is Cam on the team then? You're willing to go that low with him financially. He still comes back to the team, but now you're the sixth guy on a bad team.
If he comes back to the team with the salary that he's saying, he's a starter.
You would hope, but this organization is not giving him that notification. They're saying we want you back, but if we do get some other pieces, we might move you to the sixth guy. Cam doesn't want that.
They trying to lowball him because they know ain't nobody else going to pay him more than that, probably.
Right.
Like,
that's what
they on some it's just business shit.
Yeah,
but
that's what
I feel like
Gorgeous.
part of it is them. Like I said last year, I think they was making him sit out some of them games, telling him, "Yo, you 90% better, but you ain't 100% better. So don't Don't stress yourself. Know what I mean? We'll worry about it. And then you can't tell a nigga to take off games and then say, yo, you didn't really show improve. So you ain't give him the opportunity.
And that's where the problem. John said it too. He did show some flashes last year of that stuff, but I think that's why with the pay, John, and what he didn't show fully is what's keeping him between the conversation of really getting paid and being paid limited, and then being 6-man or starter. I think that IQ stuff and moving the ball, not stopping the ball, knowing these situations a lot better. I think that's why the pay is so controversial for him. I'm not saying for anybody else, just for Cam, because like I said, some people still think Cam could reach an all-star, and some people think just because he scores like that his IQ isn't high enough to be a star. So we're gonna put him at the 6-man so he can score all the buckets he wants. That's the controversy between him. You know what I'm saying? He's stuck right in the middle, and he hasn't had the opportunity. And I agree, he hasn't had the opportunity to show that he can do more than what just, you know what I'm saying, score the ball. You know what I'm saying? Right. But that's what he does best already. And most of the stars say that's the hardest part of the game in the NBA is the score. And he does that easily. You know what I'm saying? So I think he needs to showcase and get better at the rest of his game, so it won't be a question about pay. Like, I am that guy. You know what I'm saying? Pay me like I'm that guy. Right now, he feels like he's that guy, but it doesn't show.
Right, but Ice, can you blame him, though, for wanting that? Because look how dysfunctional organizations have been the last 9 years. I quite frankly can understand why he's doing the way he's doing, given the fact that 3 stars wanted out, a role player wanted out. Now me, still being on this team, I earned every minute I could earn when you guys didn't want to give me those minutes. And he's saying I should be paid for that because I put up with your BS. This organization, they're trying to pretend they have clean hands, Ice, but you, me, Breeze, we look at the highlights, look at the news that happened the last 4 years. We all know everything that's happened. This organization wants to pretend that everything's squeaky clean, that we turned over a new leaf. Well, you're still treating players bad. And if Cam is out of the equation, the big problem that Breeze and all those other people have is like, when are we going to build some sustainability? You keep preaching the word sustainability, but if you keep removing pieces that say they want to be here, you're going to be in a cycle of, okay, we're going to keep reshuffling, then get a star, hope it works, and it doesn't. Oh, we'll just keep reshuffling. I think the base is just tired of that. Like, if you're going to commit to building something organic,
I'm not backing Sean Marks no more. If he trades Sean Marks, he ain't got my support no more. I don't care if he had a 6-pack of Modelo's. He's not getting my support no more.
Facts. And I agree with
that. No, I don't want to say that. I don't want to. You know how they be trying to make it the most. I just thought about that Dave Chappelle, Samuel Jackson when he had that bid. I don't want to say it because it's funny, but the internet could take it the wrong way. But yeah, man, this is the John. This shit is it's nasty work, bro. At the end of the day, he's prioritizing international players, and these international players with their stats, they not. I know the college stats don't matter, Ice, but I'm just the only thing we got to contrast. They not none of them. None of them are better than Cam Thomas, and they assists ain't that much better than Cam Thomas. Like, wow, they fit to come here and be playmakers. Like, no, bro. Sean Marks is an unproven GM. Jordi Fernandez is an unproven head coach. I want them to look at something that they can bet on, and that's Cam Thomas scoring. Have things that are solid. Some things are fluent where they have to solidify. They're not ready yet, and that's the player development side of it. But one thing they could bet on is Cam Thomas scoring and just building off of that. And I'm not contrasting him to Miles Turner, but Miles Turner is somebody that the Pacers didn't turn their back on. He wasn't this great, incredible player, but they see how he could fit. I'm just saying that to say certain franchises treat their players better than other franchises treat their players. That's a fact. Look, like they just do. And it's just sad that we got to be a franchise that's not taking care of our draft capital. Who cares about how much draft capital that we have when it's time to do right by the drafted player and y'all turn your back on them? So that's corny. And I don't know why they on it like that.
They're doing it just because I don't believe Sean and Joe understand vision. Like, it's easy to have ideas in your head, but it's actually got to become something. For 9 years, it's led us nowhere. They thought the 3 stars would get him to an MAC championship. Well, you had one shot at it. You blew it. And then you said you'd re-sign these guys. Couldn't do that. Okay. And then you decided to trade them away because they didn't want to be here. Okay. You didn't get no young stars because you could have developed Cam Thomas. They didn't want to do that. Fast forward, and now we came and negotiate a contract with Cam Thomas. I just don't think Sean and Joe understand how to be businessmen, how to be bosses. And listen, a few years ago, maybe I would have respected Sean finally growing a pair and taking a ruthless approach with Cam Thomas. But still, you got to pay the kid if you're going to trade him at the end of the day. Lowballing him like this, you're making him feel like he doesn't belong in the NBA as a player, even as a 3rd or 6th man. Like Cam believes he's worth something really big. They don't, but at the end of the day, even if you don't agree with Cam Thomas, you still got to make him feel like he's valuable some way, whether that's a part of this or not. And you can't even do that right. I just don't think this organization knows how to talk to their players and make them feel like they're a part of something. It feels like we're just reshuffling the deck, hoping somebody's going to step up to the plate. And I think these 5 guys can all bring something to the table, but none of them are lethal scorers or ISO scorers. They could pass each other the ball, but I'm not expecting these guys to drop me 30 or 40 next 2 to 3 years. And that's the problem. If you're 2026,
a bunch of hot potato out there, man. Somebody
that's what it is. Like, we don't want to play hot potato. This draft, you're supposed to have that one guy that doesn't have to play that game. Now you're hoping your one pick the following year will be that guy, but given our draft lottery unluckiness, you can't gamble on that.
Let Jay unpack the hot potato theory. What's the hot potato game, Jay? Talk to us.
That's some bullshit. They got a bunch of passers that just gonna be out there passing the ball to each other, scared to shoot. Bunch of hot potato shit. I don't need to see that. We need somebody that's gonna take charge and score the ball as well. At least 2 or 3 of them niggas to go with the hot potato dude. You know what I mean? And then shit, they used to giving him hot potatoes, them grenades at the end of the shot clock, but I was hoping we'd be able to actually let him get into some shit for once. You know what I mean? But I don't know. This shit is egregious. I just keep saying that they should have been paid him, and this is just nasty work from the organization.
So Jay, I'm gonna ask you. So you think the way they drafted all 4 players, do you think that they should have drafted someone that was like another scorer instead of a highly another passer? You know what I'm saying? If you draft like 3 passers, 1 scorer, and like Danny, who's, you know what I'm saying, a connector or whatever, you think they should have done something like that instead of all 4 passers playing hot potato?
Hell yeah. That's why I said from jump this draft was confusing as fuck. But like I said before, I think the rationale I came to is they couldn't get the point guard they wanted, so they drafted 3 different types of point guards to see which one is going to be the best out of all 3 of them. And then they wanted bigs that can move the ball. I get that. But shit just not looking good. And then not locking Cam up is showing how out of touch they is. And maybe they may be one, out of touch with the fan base, and 2, they may just be willing to go super all in tank mode, like y'all saying. And the thing is, restricted free agent, that means they can match any offer, and I feel like they know it ain't gonna be many offers.
Yeah, hold on. Range Road said, I rate Cam Thomas highly. I could have easily stayed with the Nuggets and ride the hype train. We just want a chip, and some saying Nuggets are favorites. Take all that into consideration when I say, shit, what's the next comment? What you say? You got us on a cliffhanger right now. Listen, I'm gonna keep it real, bro. At the end of the day, like I said, my soliloquy is more that he's going to help these rookies. He's going to keep the ball in Diego, Treyarch, and Ben Surratt hands at the point guard. You don't need none of those players. Maybe you'll put Nolan at the 2 guard, but for the most part, you're going to have Cam Thomas at the 2 guard. He doesn't get in their way. He doesn't step in their toes. He doesn't take their opportunities. You know, they can implement themselves in the offense of what Jordy Fernandez wants without Cam Thomas being in the way, in a negative, any kind of way. You know what I'm saying? It's for the most part, it's all positive. Now I'm saying that to say that Kuminga, I don't, you know what I mean? Yeah, I'm not saying he's a bad player. Yeah, I give it to y'all. Y'all want to see a good player? Okay, he's a good player. But how does he fit? How like how does
No
he
fuck
even
about
fit?
no goddamn Kaminga. There ain't want nobody on his team named the Cum Bucket. Get him the fuck out of here.
He's not a team player. Kaminga's problem is he thinks he's number one, but his game is not as polished as you expect a guy entering his first real contract. He's still not crazy on defense. He's not a great
You're supposed to have
playmaker. He
Cam
can.
Thomas highlights playing while we talking about this,
Yeah,
just so niggas
yeah,
can see
yeah.
the
You should, Breeze.
at
You
I
worth
should,
got
you should.
y'all.
25 million.
Since it's been requested.
Yeah.
We need to see what's worth 25 million out there. Know what I mean? Because they saying it's worth 14 million. And see, the thing is, I'm not one to sneeze at $28 million. Know what I mean? That's not chump change. That's not a little bit of money. But he feel like he's worth more. And if you look at the other scorers that are scoring 25 points a game, scoring 40 points as much as him, doing all the shit, they getting paid way more than some damn 14 million a year. So I would feel the same way.
I heard he's going to the Kings, Kuminga, potentially. That's just imagine going to the Kings and you have DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine, and then you add Kuminga to the fold. That's wild. I don't understand that
Nah,
logic.
they just interested. The Kings
They
and
made
the
an
Suns.
offer, Ice. They made an
Yeah,
offer. Dario Saric, Devin Carter, and a pick. I heard they made an offer.
They turned it down. But the Kings and the Suns are interested in Kaminga. Those are the only two teams putting bids in for him right now. You know what I mean? So his market.
What are the Suns going to give up? I don't know what they could give up for Kuminga right now. Like,
I have not a clue. Unless they want to give up Jalen Green, I don't know.
They don't want long-term money though. That's my thing. I think they have a lot of guys on the contract. Unless you want to give up Brian Dunn, who I know they're very high on, but they want to give up Grayson Allen. I heard they want to give up Grayson Allen or Royce O'Neal, and they said no. I don't want those guys. Yeah,
that too.
Listen, y'all could talk, but I'm just want to let y'all know I'm gonna play the highlights in the background, and what I'm looking for is catch and shoot, because that's why I'm saying he'll be a good teammate next to the rookies. They need a catch and shoot they need Cam Thomas to play off ball and catch and shoot for the most part. He could do more than that, we all know, but they're gonna need. That's why he will help the rookies. Go ahead, ISO. I was listening. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, they who was it? What's the team? Oh, the Warriors. The Warriors wanted what I say they wanted? What's that dude's name? Keegan Murray. They wanted Keegan Murray or somebody else, and the Kings didn't want to give him up.
What's their obsession with Murray, man? That kid hasn't developed at all on that team, and they still want to keep him. I don't get it, man. I don't know what.
Yeah, he was the number 4 pick. He was an underwhelming at 4. Like,
yeah,
look,
but
everybody, look, when you look at the highlights, look at how many times Cam Thomas dribbled the ball. Everybody say he dribbled too much. Look at his highlights, see how many times he dribbled the ball. One, I seen him dribble twice in all his highlights so far. Just watch the next 3 plays. Watch this one right here. See how many times he dribbled. 0. Okay. Let's see if my theory holds true about him being a catch and shoot player. 1 dribble, 2 dribbles, 3 dribbles, 4. Okay, get all the way to the rim. Nice, strong move to the rim. Oh, calling ISO. This is the ISO. Damn, you just made it look easy. All right, so he do. Well, I don't see him dancing. All his dribbles are meaningful. Stop and pop at the 3, tough. And look, that's us coming back in the fourth quarter. Who's scoring? Us. Yegor doing that. Nolan doing that. Ben Saraf doing that. Wolf doing that. The Powell doing that. Are they doing this? Can you give them the ball in the fourth quarter for it to make it a game? Even though we lost this game, it ain't Cam Thomas' fault.
They can't dribble like that. They can't finish like that. That's the problem. We don't have finishers like that. You have good playmaking type guys, but everything else, they need time to develop. I think someone could hit threes, but like at the end of the day, you need guys to do interior offense. I feel like the NBA wants to turn it all into a machine where you all guys shoot like Curry. I don't see how that's fun or entertaining, just shooting threes the whole day. And then if you're a bad team, you're probably down by 100 points. Like that's how you kill ratings in the NBA, if that's what you guys want to do. But I think that's why you can't get rid of the mid-range shot completely. Like, look at Cam, he's cooking. You do the threes too.
Bruh. None of these rookies is doing none of this. This is why I'm so tight. Everybody was like, "Oh, Cam Thomas can't be the best player," and then we drafted and the player that we had to draft for him not to be the best player was pretty much 1 through 7. Nobody is saying that Yegor is better than Cam Thomas. Cam Thomas going into his 5th season. Yegor is not better than him as a rookie. I'm sorry.
Nowhere close though.
Like, but they ready to trade Cam Thomas because we got Yegor and these other players. That shit nasty.
Nah, that's not it. It's not because of the other players. It's just what I said. They don't know if he's going to become all-star or he just needs to be 6 or he needs to be 6 man on somebody else's team. That's the problem with him. You know what I'm saying? As you look at these highlights, he's dropping buckets, right? But he's not moving the ball. And I'm not saying, you know what I'm saying, Cam got to move the ball a lot, but he's not moving the ball. Every dribble he takes is either to shoot the 3 or get to the rack. That's what he does.
Bro, he on the floor with Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons, he gonna pass it right back to Cam Thomas.
Right. And I said this on Saint Space's page. Is it just Cam Thomas's fault, or is it the system that's been around him? Ice, you saw the last 3 years in this mediocrity spin tail of the twin era we were in. There was no pieces on this team that could create offense besides Cam Thomas. I mean, you know, they wanted Bridges and Johnson to be the main guys. Those guys could not do any interior offense. They were just chucking threes. Cam was the only guy giving you that on any given night. And he did try to dish out the ball different times, but you saw me missed threes Dorian Finney-Smith had. Like, at the end of the day, it wasn't just Cam Thomas' fault. The organization created bad systems run by coaches who didn't prioritize development.
I don't think it's bad. I just think the team was bad.
Goodness.
I think the team was bad. I don't think it's the system. I think the pieces that was
That's
on the
what I'm
team.
getting at. It was the system and the team. It was the system and the
just wasn't good enough. You know what I mean? The team wasn't
right,
good
but
enough.
that's not Cam's fault. That's why he had to do what he had to do, because he was thinking about his future and trying to have a role on this team. If he was just passing the ball, he'd have no assists on most nights. I understand why Cam did what he did, but this organization's trying to say, oh, Cam is a purposeful bull hog. He doesn't care about being a team player. Well, it's hard to be a team player with the guy you asked to run the offense, but he's too scared to go to the rim in Ben Simmons. Like, it's not all Cam's fault at the end of the day. That's the one thing I could say Cam could defend himself with. Look at what the GM put around me.
He ain't put no shot creators around him. At the end of the day, Cam Thomas is supposed. What I'm saying to fans like BKNY Hoops and all of these, oh, he's a chucker, bro. He's the best scorer on the team. Why y'all want the best scorer to do passing? What you? That's like I call the plumber and he like no. When he get here, like yo, you know I'm an electrician for real. Like nigga. I don't need you to motherfucking fix the light. I need you to fix the
pass the ball, bro.
I can tell you why though.
Niggas was not telling Kobe pass the ball.
But what Ice, I know you listen, Ice, I know you could tell us why, but what I'm saying, it's a sad excuse on why they're not doing right by Cam Thomas, bro. It's still does. I hear what you're saying, but the validity to why they doing what they doing is nasty. None of the players that we drafted, Ice, can do this shit, bro.
There's only 3 players double teamed more than Cam Thomas.
Nah, that's why I say Cam has a.
He's trying to rage bait me, John. He's trying to rage bait me.
I know, but that's crazy. You don't belong in the league. Come on, Hoops. I understand.
He's trying to. No, John. He got to jump on the chat for that, bro. I mean, in the panel for that, bro. I'm not letting BKNY Hoops rage bait make rage abate me, bro. I'm not.
BKNY Hoops. Hear what I said though?
Go ahead.
What you said, Jay?
They said that I'm looking at a stat right now that says his double team rate is the 4th highest in the league. It's only 3 players in the league that get double teamed at a higher rate than Cam Thomas. And that's crazy because to say that a nigga don't even belong in a league, but why is niggas double teaming him so much if he like
exactly. Listen, these media. I just want to say this one thing, Ice. These media heads swear they want to be bigger than basketball so much, bro. Just chatting. I think what they breakfast, lunch, and dinner is chatty patties. Because that's all they doing. There don't be no validity to their soliloquy.
That's why.
See, there is some, right? There is some.
Yo, you got to trend that for these chatty patties, man.
But the validity is right when the things that they say is to push him towards a 6-man. Right, but when you look at the other stats that Cam does have, like the ISO scoring and the double team tells you that bro, if you don't stop this man, you're gonna be in for a long night. So you know what I'm saying? That he has the stats to say like, yo, I could be highly nice, and he has the stats to say like, I couldn't be a sixth man. And again, that's the problem with him. Like, what is he? You know what I'm saying? He's a scorer, but where do you place him? You know what I'm saying? Like, where do you exactly put Cam? I think Cam needs another year to display. Yeah, I think he needs another year, and then you assess from there. If Cam becomes a guy that doesn't move the ball and he's just scoring buckets, then you know what he is. You know what I'm saying? If he doesn't show no improvement from what he did last year and continue, then you know what I'm saying, he's gonna get that label as a six man. That's the label he doesn't want.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I don't want it to be so messy that he don't even come back and start the season with us. Like, let him come back and start the season with us. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, I'm watching these highlights, bro. He get to the midi, he get to the rim, he shoot the three, he catch and shoot. He giving everybody work, bro. And my thing is, bro, they act like this shit is a dime a dozen. Like, you could just get anybody to come here and do what Cam Thomas do. Fuck no. That's not true, bro. Look at Cam Thomas. Favorite player is
y'all want a list of people that Cam Thomas got more 40-point games than?
Yeah.
Tim Duncan, Scottie Pippen, Manu Ginobili, Kawhi Leonard, Jimmy Butler, Gary Payton. Who that? Kyle Lowry on there? Kyle Lowry? No, that's ISO Joe. Who is that? I can't see.
Yeah, I think it's ISO Joe.
Yeah, I can't see who that's in the picture.
See, listen. Look, Range Rover. He said,
what up, bro?
No, I was gonna say, look at Range Rover comment. He said, going from a pick and roll Joker, Merchant, and Murray to someone who don't need a pick and Cam is fire. Nuggets fired my championship coach and traded MPJ, so they on my shit list for the time being. Basically, fans be disgruntled when players get traded or it don't go right. You know what I'm saying? Y'all be mad at me talking about, oh, are you going to still be a Nets fan when CT get traded? Insulting my handle. But the truth is that, bro, I'm not going to stand on the sideline and watch this terrible display of media critiquing a player, trying to find every knock on them. And 9 times out of 10, they not watching 82 games. They look at the box score, they see the loss, and they, draw up a negative narrative. When if you actually watch the games, you can see the losses don't be his fault. I'm not going to say that he hasn't missed big shots before and we could have won or lost with him. No, but I've seen him win games too. You know what I mean? And it's more plus than minus. But go ahead, Joe. I ain't want to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, BK is just wild. Now, I've never hated Cam Thomas. When I was on his show, when Cam was on a team a few years ago, I said he needs to work on his playmaking. Something people overlooked, and they worked on his playmaking. And I said, this is the Cam Thomas that should be in the league. I never once said he shouldn't be out of the league. And BK said he supported him multiple times. He never supported Cam Thomas. He always said the guy's too small. He always said no small guards. Ice was what I'm talking about. Ice was on the show. Like, what a bunch of BS, man. At the end of the day, Cam Thomas is fighting the NBA. He's fighting his own front office team. And yet, when he stands up for himself, everybody still wants to rain on the kid. Listen, at the end of the day, he likes to play basketball. If he can stay in the league for the rest of his career and just play basketball offensively, let the kid be happy. And if it's not on our team, I wish them the best. At the end of the day, this organization thinks they know what they're doing. For 9 years, I haven't seen it. So if they trade Cam and he crushes them, that's their fault. And BKY Hoops, we're going to hold your comments accountable for that because you're the one who said Cam should never be on this team because he's too small. Like, stop, BK. Stop. Please.
Like at the end of the day, like I said, I looked at the shout out to Leaf on the panel. I look at offensive sets with me and Ice. We seen the quick floppy one. We seen different offensive plays where they could call and they could draw plays up for Cam Thomas or Yago or Danny Wolf or MPJ. There's different things that they can do. You don't necessarily. I'm not saying Cam Thomas should be the first one with the ball at the beginning of the game and the last one with the ball at the end of the game. But to make it seem like there's a trade, a realistic trade that we could get that could have the same scoring prowess as Cam Thomas. False. It's false. Y'all could spin these narratives all y'all want and say what y'all like, but at the end of the day, where's the validity to it? You know what I mean? And like I said, like Yeah, again, I would just be reiterating the same thing. But at the end of the day, you win the game with the most points, not the other stuff. The most other stuff, they had the most other stuff at the end of the game, and that's why they won. No, motherfuckers. It's because they had the most points. And Cam Thomas is an elite scorer, and y'all try to downplay scoring for playmaking. And I think fans just being a little overzealous when it comes to playmaking. You know, you don't have to take away from one thing to big up another thing. You know, playmaking is important, but it's not more important than scoring the ball, bro. You got to score to win.
Right. If you're going to talk about all this playmaking, somebody got to be the one scoring. Like, if you're going to pass it, who you expect them to pass it to?
Right. They're not going to pass it to somebody who can't score. They're going to pass it to somebody who the best shooter. They looking for the best scorer on their team. They looking for the best shooter on their team. They looking for someone that's going to, you know, cut to the basket. Somebody that's going to be in a space where if they get double teamed, they could take the open three at the elbow at the corner three.
Are they?
So that's what shot creators do. They find space on the court. You hear Melo and DeMar DeRozan in the beginning of the stream talk about how he learned. DeMar DeRozan talking about how he learned how to play in a phone booth because of Kobe Bryant. Bro, they talk about these things. They talk about playing in the mid range. You see Cam Thomas on the top 20 last season of the mid range. Better than Kawhi, better than MPJ. You know, better than he was 15 out of 20. You know what I'm saying? You see him just hit a game winner right there in New Orleans last season. You know, in a short amount of games. So that means he had a game winner within like 20 something games. Like, bro, it's not enough of not enough of the naysayers soliloquy that convince me otherwise that he shouldn't be on his team. I'm not talking, and that's what I'm trying to tell you. I'm saying he is essential to these guys as teammates. This whole business side and what the Brooklyn Nets are going to do, like I said, bro, y'all got it. I don't know what the Brooklyn Nets is fitting to do. I don't know. I'm not talking. My discussion ain't more the business side of it, but as a teammate, I seen him play next to everybody that was on the Brooklyn Nets, and he ain't never have a bad game because anybody else was on the team. Even Kyrie Irving, James Harden, or Kevin Durant. Regardless, if he's better than a talent, he still plays good. If he's not the best talent, guess what? He still plays good. So I don't understand that the soliloquy, so many soliloquies against him from Nets fans. That's why I debate Gary. That's why I debate Dylan, debate Leaf. All it don't matter who it is. That's why I debate all of them.
Well, leave me out of this, bro.
You see what he's saying now in the chat? I basically called BK out, and he's not denying it. That's how you know who's keeping game. Like, stop it, BK.
JDJ said defense win championships. That's a fact. Bro, BKNY hoops, bro. Stop it, bro. You rage bait. You
he
rage
said
bait.
Danny Wolf's going to be the cool Joker. BK literally said
Jalen
that.
Brunson though. Didn't he praise Jalen Brunson in the playoffs?
He was covering the Knicks a few weeks ago. He can't with this guy. Remember LM? He read the fine print. Brooklyn Nets and Knicks content, everybody. But I'm making it small so you don't see it.
I don't listen. I don't even want to talk about anybody that's playing both sides. That's just shit I don't like. So listen, all I want the front office to do, because at the end of the day, it's gonna come down to these niggas, bro. Like, just make a decision. Do you want this nigga or do you not want the nigga, man? Like, it is what it is. I don't got no time. Like, this back and forth shit. This is the same shit that Jay warned everybody up in here about weeks ago. This is the same shit Easy was talking about this shit 2 years ago, bro. Like, this shit should have been done already.
I said it too.
When I told everybody up in here that Clax don't deserve a goddamn penny, and he got $25 million a year for 4 years, then now it took 1 year to realize that this nigga got paid. Listen, Jay was the person that put this shit in motion. He was doing too much. He was doing too much. Being pre-mentored by Ben Simmons with all of this fashion and all of this crazy shit. Jay was the one that told us. And I had to really dig deep. And I'm like, you know what? That wasn't just the reason why I didn't want that nigga to get no damn 25 mil. We could have paid him 15 mil before he even got to an extension, before he even got to an expiring contract. The same thing with Cam Thomas. You could have saved yourself money a long time ago. You clearly don't want the man, bro. Like, okay, fine. You don't want him, then move on and go get somebody else. I don't care who you get, but make a damn decision.
But my
That's all
thing
I'm
is,
saying.
like you said before, Lee, if they're gonna trade him, you should pay him so his value is somewhere close to the value of a superstar.
Look, agreed, bro. You ain't getting no argument out of me, bro. Like, so I mean, because the sign and trade seemed like the likely thing. The best trade I heard so far, and that's not me agreeing. That's not me agreeing with the fact that I want him or not. Was the trade for old boy from the Pistons? That was Jaden Ivey, because you getting a 2 guard in return, getting against somebody, getting a young kid in return. So like that's the best trade I heard so far. But it seemed like that's the best trade I heard so far. But even still, I'm like, yo, you losing a nigga that's going to score 20 plus 20 to the north of 24. And you gotta figure out how to reboot that. So you know, I mean, teams have done it before. It took them a while, but at the same time, make a decision. That's all we up here for, bro. I'm not here to co-sign for no side, bro. Make a goddamn decision. My flag is black and white.
They
Make a
haven't done it for
fucking
9 years.
decision.
Leaf. This one has done it for 9 years making decisions. This is like it's a miracle that they're still both have their jobs right now with how bad they are at communicating with their own teammates. Like we've seen this time and time again, but they're still saying we're the Brooklyn Nets. Everybody wants to be a part of this. Well, a part of what? Like Breezy and other people keep saying, where's the culture? Where's the unity? Where's the direction? I feel like this identity crisis. We're going to be the Euro League of America. You have no balance on this team. We don't have an actual center. We don't have an actual power forward. You want to get rid of your only scoring guard, and you want all these guys to be playmakers that can do 1 through 5. I don't understand what organizations are trying to reach for. It just seems like they're reaching and trying to hope that we're invested in that. I'm invested in results, not mediocrity.
No shit though. But they
Listen,
all of
I'm
the
with you.
international players, all of the players that Sean Marks drafted that was international, none of them did enough for Sean Marks to have 3 international players out of 5 in this year's draft, in my opinion. So like, he got a
I don't
lot to
even know
prove.
the rest of the draft. I don't even know the rest of the draft history outside of Jared Allen. What
Breezy did a
That's
Claxton.
the
show on it
point.
the other day. Breezy did a show on it the other day, Leaf. Go watch the video. He basically covered it all. Half those people aren't even in the league anymore that he had to play
Man,
in.
I'm not watching that shit. I don't need to go
He
back
was he
down
was
memory
he
lane.
was he was on that same show. You pulled up late, but the point is that my point is Cam Thomas is the best player that he ever drafted. You could argue with Jared Allen, but at the end of the day, bro, he's definitely one of the better players that Sean Marks ever drafted. And for them to handle Cam Thomas in such a egregious way, it just shows that it's hard to for free agents and people looking outside of Brooklyn, seeing what's the way they do things, how they take care of their drafted players, how they take care of their free agents. You know, they may be looking with a side eye. You know, if we're gonna have all of this money in the coming season, yes, these free agents gonna come in, but they're not gonna come in for the winning culture and want to stay and win here. They're gonna
You
come
coming
here
here to
because
get
they got
paid.
the most cap space and they could get their bag, they could get their money, and then they could go live their merry life. So at the end of the day, Sean Marks, if that's how you on it, you could be a GM somewhere else, bro. Like that ass. If you just want to be all nonchalant about the Brooklyn Nets being in contention for competing, you know what I mean? Like, bro, they got Charlotte Hornets for that. They got the Wizards for that. They got I can't even say the Pelicans no more, but they got teams for that. You know what I'm saying? A rebuilding team, in my opinion, it should be a serious looking in the playoffs, serious in the playoffs about 3-4 seasons.
No, I'm about to be in there in a second. No.
About 3-4 seasons. That's how long it takes for you to be a serious team in the playoffs, bro. And I'm looking at it from a Jordy Fernandez perspective. I didn't expect much from Jordy last season, but these next 2 seasons show me something. Either have the out of these 2 seasons to have a core like y'all destroying, changing the whole core to build a new core. You know, especially if you take Cam Thomas out of this core, then the longest tenor of a net is Nick Claxton. And It's just
Nah,
like, yo, the
probably
set that they
Probably still Brooke Lopez. I'll be honest with you.
no,
He's
no,
talking
I'm
about
talking about
active. He's talking about
currently. I'm
active.
talking, yeah,
Active.
I'm
Yeah.
talking about currently. You know what I'm saying? So, because I'm talking about establishing a core. And if you take
Right.
Cam Thomas, and we all agree, regardless of what we said about Cam Thomas, we all agreed that he was part of the core, not necessarily the magnitude of what he's
Whatever
going
core
to
that
be the
was,
next
man.
season, but he was supposed to be part of one of the players that we keep to build to build the championship roster. You take that away, you take away one of the pieces that was supposed to go in the championship roster. Off of maybes. We really sure that five out of five of these players is going to pan out and be part of the championship roster? At least we had somebody at minimum with, from my perspective, that would come off of the bench for the Brooklyn Nets because there was a better talent that started over Cam Thomas. At
You
least you know
sound,
you would have
bro.
had that as a scorer.
To
But
me,
we don't even have
it
that.
sound like a lot of people is on the fence about these five niggas, bro. Like that optimism is like kind of half and half. Like realistically,
They didn't prove
like
nothing yet.
of course they ain't do nothing because they just got drafted, bro.
No,
Like I
I said
mean,
they didn't prove nothing yet. And again, I set the bar at what Cam Thomas. Are they going to do what Cam Thomas did? Are they going to have two game? Any of them? Are they going? Any have game winners? Any of them going to have any of the just the game winners? So let's just stop right there.
They
Are
might.
any? I want to. That's what I want to see. I want to see them say, okay, we don't need Cam Thomas. The guys that we got, they're going to do what Cam Thomas did as a rookie or more. I
That's
seen Cam Thomas ice the Knicks as a rookie. If
yeah,
yo, if
listen,
any,
that's not the point of it.
I think everything that you saying is 100% correct, but it's more than one ways. It was more than one way to bake a cake. You know what I'm
Right.
saying, bro? Like I'm not saying like everything don't have to be pinpoint exactly like Cam Thomas. We could have a basic nigga, bro, like and he could average 25 off of one or two moves. I mean, like, we could have a regular nigga. He could average 25 and 10 off of one or two plays, bro. Like it is what it is. I don't give a shit
we
how the
gotta
shit
see.
get done. As long as you iron the pants, bro. Like as long as they come out correctly and the shoe fit, wear it. But it's more than one
But
way to bake a cake.
that don't mean trade Cam Thomas. Even if you do got that talent, you add to it. You don't minus Cam Thomas just because you added new talent.
Hey,
That's
well,
my point.
tell that to the front office, bro. I mean, don't tell that to me.
Send it to Sean Marks, man.
No,
Send it
tell
to
Cam
Sean
to
Marks.
sign that contract and be done with it. Because all you gotta
Yeah.
do is sign the contract. That's it. The
Yeah,
contract
but
is there. You know what I'm saying? The thing is, he thinks he's worth more than that, and that's the problem. It's not that Sean ain't trying to keep him on the team. If they ain't want him on the team, they wouldn't have given him a contract. They wouldn't have
Ice,
offered
they
him
didn't
nothing.
talk to him until last week. They were not in a rush for this. They had months to plan for this. Like at the end of the
Yeah,
day, they just threw
yeah.
something on his lap and said, "Sign it, kid. Nobody else is going to give you anything." Like that's the problem with this organization. You could
That's not the,
communicate this a million different
that's
ways better and
not
still got the same result, Ice. But this organization doesn't talk to their players. They just expect them to play ball.
no,
You know, that's not going to work.
It's not the
Yeah,
expect.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
No, is I'm going to show you something. You know what I'm saying? You want a bigger check?
I
Go
think
and get
both.
it.
I think both sides could be right in this situation, bro. Like I think what it is, not to cut you off, Ice, but I think what it
You good?
is, they still recovering from the stench of basically being quote unquote yes man for Katie and Kyrie, bro. And now that they got rid of them, they trying to basically strip everything of this organization that reminds them of them two niggas. Because realistically, they wanted KD all along. The Kyrie situation, that was just added on because KD wanted him. So that was just added on. Realistically, now we learning more and more about it. But the reality is, like, I'm not giving Sean Marks no damn credit for drafting Cam Thomas because that shit got Kevin Durant written all over it.
Exactly. Exactly.
I'm not.
And
I
that's the
never
crux
gave
of
him
this.
credit for that shit because as I already knew, he never wanted them. That would explain the DMPs. That would explain
Yep.
the shortened minutes. That would explain
Yep.
all of this shit about the last 5 years with Cam Thomas getting 30 minutes, 20 minutes DMP, 30 minutes, 20 minutes DMP. These is orders that came from upstairs. They didn't just come
Bingo.
from Sean Marks. They came from higher up. Somebody upstairs, excuse me, CEO type shit. That's what it came from, bro. So realistically, we don't just got a GM problem, we got an ownership problem. We got that too.
Ooh.
That's what we really got. And I said it out loud. I'm gonna say it again. We ain't just got a GM problem, we got an ownership problem. Both of these niggas need to be in the goddamn unemployment line. If you ask me, realistically, because there's no commitment in recovering from the Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving era, bro, because you basically just said, all right, yo, y'all could come along, even though we was kind of building something where we didn't know, we wasn't sure if it was gonna work. Any organization would have did or what we did, man, they would have picked it up. The Clippers still did it. The Clippers are still hugging on to everything they got left for Kawhi and this and that, 30-something year olds and shit like that, just to put asses in seats and this, that, and the third. But we still don't believe in Cam Thomas because we don't like how them niggas acted while they were here.
I
So
don't think
Cam Thomas reminds them every day of them two niggas. They
I
do.
don't think that's it, bro. I just think it's money. I'm gonna say this: the Bulls want Josh Giddey back. They offer him a contract. The Nets offered Cam Thomas a contract. I believe they want him back. The only person that I don't think they want on that team is Jonathan Kuminga for the Warriors. Money is the situation. It ain't if I like you or if you're not. Money is the situation. If I didn't want you, I wouldn't offer you nothing. I didn't have to offer you anything.
But why? But if you really wanted him, why didn't this contract situation get handled earlier on before waiting to the last second?
Why didn't?
Tell me why.
Again, if I don't know what you
give me
are,
something. Tell me a story.
no, if I don't know what you are, right, and I'm watching the CBA, I'm watching how all the teams operate. Now we get to this point. I'm proving the point, right? We get to this point, and I said, you said you worth more money. I said, go out and find it, come back, I'll match it, and you can't do it. Am I not proving a point to you? Am I not showing you like this is what the NBA thinks or other organizations think, that, you know what I'm saying, you're not worth as much as you think you are? But I'll allow you to go out and find the money that you want, and I will match it when you come back. No problems.
Okay. All right. So I want to have this same conversation when Yago is up for contract, because we got to remember he a top 10 pick. So we got to understand. We gonna uncover when it's time to pay some of these new niggas that they just drafted. That they one of them is just so happen to be a top 10 pick. When it's time to pay him, and when he's done something and they like, and then they wait until the last second to do it, I guarantee you they ain't gonna wait till the last second to do it like they did Cam Thomas. I guarantee you they not. They're gonna make sure that shit is done on the money.
It's gonna be a different time. It's gonna be a different time.
Different time, my ass.
Cam Johnson had to wait.
You pay who you believe in. The bottom line is they don't believe in Cam Thomas.
Wait, you mean 3 months when he traded Ice? It was 3 months after he got it. That wasn't a long wait for Cam Johnson to wait.
His contract was coming up. He had to wait. They didn't do it.
Long. They got that done in free agency. They got done like the first or second day of free agency.
They got that done right at the very next offseason.
Come on.
They got that done the very next offseason. What
they
we
had
talking
that ready. They had that ready.
They traded for him after the trade. Hold up. They traded for him after the trade deadline and got that shit done the next season.
You guys are
was
making
up for
my
contract.
point,
They got $100 million.
You making my point though. They waited till what? They waited till the offseason to see what the market was like before they offered him a contract. They did not do it earlier. They waited till the market said Cam Johnson was worth this. We offer you that contract. They waited for Cam Thomas offseason. This is what the market's saying you are. We offer you this contract. We didn't do it earlier.
Nah. You leaving out the fact that we got rid of Joe Harris and that freed up another 19 mil, bro. That's how he got that money.
Right, but
that's
Detroit
you're leaving out that fact too.
The market. Go ahead, John.
No, but Detroit might have won him, and I was going to bring that up. Is Leapfrog point? They salary dumped him, so Detroit couldn't pay him. Then they overpaid Cam Johnson for some weird reason.
Exactly.
But you didn't have to.
They overpaid him because somebody else wanted him.
See, that's the part. Y'all not listening to that part. I get that part, but it was still the market that said Cam Johnson was worth that money. Kyle Kuzma got paid, Cam Johnson got paid, and the dude from Portland got paid the most after that. 3 dudes got paid back to back to back, if y'all don't remember that. And
but it wasn't a crazy market
came from the market.
Besides Detroit, it wasn't
came from the market. It wasn't an overpay. That was the market. The market said Cam Johnson was worth that money.
Yeah, but if you get Detroit out of the equation, who was the only team at the time that actually did want him, you had nobody else going up against you. That's me and Leaf's point. You overbid against yourself.
But you're making my point. That's what set the market for him. That's how they knew what Cam Johnson was worth. Who's setting the market for Cam? See what I'm saying? That's the problem right there.
Listen.
If one team offered Cam something higher than what the Nets offer him, they would sign that money to him today. It would be done with.
Okay. All right. With all of that being said, basically what you trying to tell me in somewhat of a nutshell is that Kaminga, Giddy, they're gonna have to set the market for this year's restricted free agents, bro, and that includes Cam Thomas and that includes Quentin Grimes. Is that what you telling me?
Yes. If one of them signed, they set the market. That's why none of them signed no contracts yet. If one of them signs, because look, the Bulls offer Josh Giddey 20. He don't want it. The Nets offer Cam 14 a year. He don't want it. I don't know what the Warriors offer, and I don't remember what Philly offered, but none of them is signing. They all wanted 30, and none of them signed yet. So once one of them signs something, then everybody else can negotiate, and it's going to be close or a little slightly higher, $1 million more, $1 million less, whatever it's going to be. That's what the market is going to be for them.
All right. I'll take that. I'll take that into consideration. I mean,
you know what's
that's
interesting,
fine with
Leaf?
me.
Leaf, you brought up Joe Desai. Has anybody asked Joe Desai what he thought about all these draft picks we did on draft day?
No.
I don't even think Joe Desai's had an interview yet about who we drafted. Like this is the
No,
crazy thing. If
I
Joe
don't think
Desai's so involved, why isn't he getting asked the tough questions? But as much as
I
I
don't
want to go after Sean
the
Marks,
thing
what was
is
his thought
because
process in this?
I'm gonna tell you why, John, because like going back to Donald Sterling, when you sit up at the highest seat, you could basically throw the bricks and hide your hand. You're like, I'm telling you, you could basically throw a whole bunch of stuff at a glass house and nothing can happen to you. The higher your seat is, bro. Like this, owners have done this before, and everybody and the GM obviously gonna get blamed for it, bro, because at the end of the GM has to make the moves. He has to push that button, but he's being told to push that button by
Wow.
somebody up high, bro. And I strongly believe that. It's
I'll be
gonna come
honest
out
with
a
you.
documentary, bro. I'm talking. By the time we turn this shit into Rome, documentary's gonna be coming out, bro, about our struggle years, bro, and this is gonna be part of it.
I'm telling you, Leaf, if that draft pick next year is not a top 4 guy and it's Kareem Lopez, if we trade away those valuable Suns and Mavs picks to get Yegor and Kareem Lopez, there's no way Sean Marks should still be in office. Like that can't happen at that point. Once that's happened, you potentially done one of the worst deals in NBA history, and that's what you got for getting your own picks back. Like there's just no excuse at that point. There's no justification. There's no more, oh, we just need good character guys. No, you need the talent. At the end of the day, teams aren't winning with good character guys. They're winning with talent. If this organization can understand that and do it the right way, they shouldn't be in charge at the end of the day.
That's true, but listen, for better or worse, with these picks and just in terms of potential, and I'm not going off and saying what they're going to do or what they're not going to do, this, that, and the third, just in terms of potential and what they already bring into the court in terms of playmaking and playing together and being willing passers. We 1/3 of the way. Now we get the second part. We got to get the finishers and get the scorers to complement these dudes, bro. Like to complement all of this playmaking. So I mean, listen, getting rid of Cam Thomas is not what I had in mind. It's not what I had in mind, bro. Like, but if they feel like it's, but if they feel like it's something that they want to move on from, okay, then move on from it. But don't waste the young man's time.
Exactly.
All right,
That's what I've been saying.
real quick, I got the numbers for them, right? I'm gonna show you. Kyle Kuzma signed first. He was the first one. 4 years, 102. Cam Johnson next, 4 years, 108. Jeremy Grant next after that, 5 years, 160. That's how the order went in free agency for them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It went up from Kyle Kuzma. Other than that, before they was all waiting. They had no offer. Kyle was the first one to sign his contract, and then Cam, and then Jeremy.
This is
That's
not
how
a
it
good.
was.
This is not a good off season for restricted niggas. I ain't gonna lie to you,
No, it's
bro.
not going to
Like
be
this.
restricted free agents going forward. This is a new precedent set by the CBA.
Nah.
And if you
I
don't have
mean,
cap space, it's even
but
tougher.
I mean, but not John, bro. Like historically, for restricted free agents, bro, they get crazy bags. I think this year, bro, like the money was so plugged up in extensions and other teams already having what they need. A lot of these players, bro, are not needed in a lot of places. The places that they're needed at is places that's rebuilding, like us, like the Wizards, like Charlotte, like shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So like they're not needed in the places that they're already in in terms of max players or $25 million plus players. Quentin
Right.
Grimes know he ain't getting 25 million for no damn Sixers. I don't even know why he said that shit, bro. Like Kaminga know he ain't getting no 30 mil for no Warriors, bro, because they still invested in the Steph. Steph has turned that shit into the $8.6 billion conglomerate. Ain't no way they picking him over Steph, even at his advanced age. They already
Right.
proved that, and Steve Kerr proved that he can't coach unless Steph is in the lineup any damn way.
Right. But it's just the
The,
Steve
the, the,
CBA
the
now,
Josh
and not
Giddey that now the two things that make sense to me, Josh Giddey should already be resigned. Listen, I understand y'all just got rid of DeMar. Y'all went all in on DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine, and the shit struck out because Lonzo got hurt. But these things happen. These things happen. You can't be afraid. Listen, when you continuously at the table, in order to get away from the table, you gotta quit totally. You hear that, Sean Marks? In order to get up from the table, you can't, Bursa, you can't be at the table with no scared money. If you think you're gonna win the championship with a low budget team, okay, go ahead, try your luck at it.
that ain't gonna
But
work. At the end of the day, you need a number one guy. I don't care if you do it by committee. In this day and era, I don't care how much you change the CBA. You need a number one guy. Pacers, OKC don't get to the finals without a Halliburton or Shea Gillis, and I think these five guys could be rotation guys. But if you don't get the number one guy next year's draft, and you have to go through the star route, be prepared for that to backfire if you can't make it work financially because you have a star making over $50-60 million. It's just the way it's going right now, and that's the sad thing about the NBA, where now superstars are now going to get $70-80 million, potentially maybe $100 million one day. Like a lot of guys are going to get asked out. Like I'm talking about third or fourth or fifth options. They're not going to be making that $50-60 million. They might have to take a $25 to $35 million pay cut to be a third option, and just not a lot of guys like a Kuminga or Thomas want to play ball like that if they feel that their high ceiling is a third option. Like that's a hard thing to figure out now.
Yeah, you're right. The fourth, your fifth option,
Yeah.
whatever.
Mhm.
All them guys gonna end up taking like $2 million. They gonna end up like
Crazy. That's
paying
crazy.
$5 million a year or
Yeah.
something like that. Some crazy shit.
Yeah, and I think the bad thing for Thomas is if he was in the NBA a few years earlier when Kyrie and Curry were going off, I don't think there would be this crazy thing against undersized guards because they had no problem a few years ago. But now it's a problem because the NBA is basically telling everybody we need guys that are over 6'5" that can pass the ball, play positionless basketball, and chuck threes because that's popular. It's not popular. You're just trying to cheat your way through the game. And that's not going to work for everybody unless you have a one or two option on your team. And we have neither of those options. And the one guy who could be an option, they don't want to give him a chance. So what can you do with that?
the reality about this CBA is the styles of play, bro. Like the shit,
Mhm.
shit is like rap styles. It gets older every 60 seconds. This
Right.
is one of the reasons why you don't have no back-to-back champions, bro, because everybody basically playing Russian roulette with this damn CBA. And the team that's going to wind up winning the most championships, bro, winning the consecutive championships in the CBA is going to be the team that's basically got all their players, bro, all on long-term deals, no matter what the money look like. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, as long as the money ain't putting them over a second apron, if you got dudes locked in for 4 to 5 years, and you got your core 6 or your core 7 locked in 3 to 5 years, like, and then you basically pulled off what the Warriors pulled off 10 years ago when they started their shit, when Steph was only making $11 million for on a 4 year, $11 million for 4 years, and then they was able to get Kevin Durant. That's the only way you're gonna be able to do it. Everybody think OKC gonna end up repeating, bro. But like realistically, they got lucky, but you better to be lucky than sorry. You know what I'm saying? Like realistically. So my thing is, you're gonna have to find a way. Like you can find a way to do it, but you have to do it more strategically than the way that you've been trying to print up. Because if everybody know what you're doing, then that means everybody gonna copycat. You
Yeah,
know what
and
I'm
that's the
saying?
problem with this
So
organization. They want to copy OKC, but you need an actual center. You need an actual power forward. You need an actual lead point guard. And the fact you want to convert Yegor to a wing, it's like that wasn't the intention. The intention was he would run point and you'd eventually get a scoring option next to him. But if he's going to be a wing, what are we doing? You can't try to photocopy a team without the pieces fitting like that. Like I don't understand positionless basketball working like that unless the pieces work. I just don't think we have a balance of pieces. You have playmakers, and nothing else in between. I think we're starting
Right.
way more behind than we should have with this draft when you had
I
1/5
think
of the draft in your hands.
John, I'm gonna say it again. I think we 1/3 of the way, bro. We got to figure out how to get 2/3 of the way. 1/3, like there's
I'm
nothing wrong
on
with
that.
having there's nothing wrong with having playmakers, bro. But I mean, you just got to have your finishers and your scorers and your shooters to complement them. That's all. Once we get that, then we 2/3 of the way, and then after that comes our defenders and everything else in between. And then you put an icing on the cake. Well, who you want to be the head honcho of it all. You know what
Right.
I'm
I agree.
saying? Like,
I
so I
agree
mean,
with
so
you.
so I
Yeah.
mean, it's skill sets on this team, bro. Like that could be to that option. And it could be to that face of the team. And you know what I'm saying? Like I said, it's more than one. It's more than one way to bake a cake, and it's more than one way to run a bakery, bro. Like so, but at the same time, we just got to figure out how to make it all work. So, I mean, but at the same time, if you don't want Cam Thomas, then go ahead and then move on from him. But if you do other than that, just get the shit done or don't, bro. Like, don't waste a young man's time, bro. Like, listen, clearly belong in the league. He clearly is effective in this league. Let him go. Let him fly off on his own, or sign him. Do something. Stop sitting here, man. Stop hitting his head, playing craps.
Seriously, there's got to be a resolution. I don't know if you saw Leaf.
Yeah.
He removed all this
Man,
content from
crap.
Brooklyn from Instagram. Like, it shouldn't have
Hold,
got to this. I agree, and I hope there's a resolution soon. I hope soon.
yeah. Hold on. Shout out to Leaf, everything Brooklyn Nets, John. This is JTV, the Eskimo Iceman. Heavy on TikTok. Tip off for podcast. Leaf is Leaf 4788. This is JTV. That's his handle all over. Everything Brooklyn Nets, John. Heavy on X. These are content creators that join the panel a lot. I see some new subscribers. These are also dope content creators. Y'all could, you know what I'm saying, follow and sub to what they got going on. I definitely follow This is JTV content. He got a show come on Tuesday, called A Different Show. Ice, he go live like every day, talking basketball on TikTok heavy. Elite 4788, he's active for the most part every day. Everything Brooklyn Nets, John, always active on X, or in the space or somewhere talking about the Brooklyn Nets. As you know, I'm big fan Breezy. Y'all can subscribe to me here at this page. I just looked. We at 900. I'm at 995 subscribers. So thank you for that. Thanks to all the new subscribers, my day ones. Gotta remember my day ones. Where would I be without y'all? You know what I'm saying? Listen, we going to be continued. You know what I mean? Y'all already know how I'm gonna cover this specific topic. I'm gonna be back probably later today or tomorrow. And I just wanted to read this last comment by Range Rove. He said, "Had the Nuggets traded MPJ to Chicago, I wouldn't have followed MPJ to the Bulls. When I seen MPJ was going to be playing with Cam Thomas, I was like, sign me up." See, this is a fan that didn't follow the Nets but knew about Cam Thomas and kind of see the potential between him and MPJ together and was interested to see, you know what I'm saying, them compete. So I'm saying that to say that other fans that's not Nets fans see the potential in the Cam Thomas, and you know that I'm glad to see that. But again, man, shout out to Nets fans. We the best fans. We're gonna be back with more content really soon. Y'all safe it up and stay cool. You know what I'm saying? It's hot as elephant nuts. Stay cool out there. You know what I mean? Pulse. You know what I mean? Stay cool. Stay cool. You know what I mean? Later, y'all. Peace.
Peace,
I
everyone.
ain't
Good
gonna lie. I heard it.